Okay, it's July 13, and I'm going to start an experiment here. I began my crickets in a little 10-gallon aquarium like this. You can't see them. This is another second colony growing. They're about 2 weeks old, half the size, or maybe 3/4 of the size of a grain of rice. My other ones have been growing for, I don't know, 6 weeks or so. Got them over in this aquarium, all the egg crates. And now it's time where they have to go into a growing container. So this is the growing container, 50-gallon plastic drum. Inside, try to keep it clean. I've put a plastic, I don't know what those are called, bottle box or something. In the bottom, I got about 2 inches of dried and rehydrated sphagnum moss. The intention is to keep that sphagnum moss wet at all times just by pouring water in there, and that will soak up the loose water so they won't drown, but they'll always have a source of fluid and humidity. Now, I'm not done here yet. I got to add a few more things. I got to add some feeder trays and then egg crates on top of this. So hopefully this will keep the egg crates from getting wet and molding. And I'm also hoping that the sides of this barrel are slippery enough that these little crickets won't get out. I know the adults won't because I have them in another container over here, and that works fine, but an adult's a lot heavier. These little babies that don't have much weight, and I'm afraid they're going to crawl up the side like they are down there already. But they don't seem to make it very far, and then they fall off. I'll keep watching it for a little while. If they get up halfway up, I'm going to put a... oh, they are halfway up already. Darn. Alright, I'm going to have to put a layer or a ring of Vaseline up here at the top. Worst case scenario, I guess I'll have to cover it. Ooh, hope I'm not making a big mistake here. There is a lot of crickets on these egg crates. It appears that my barrier of mineral oil is working. You can barely see it in the middle of the picture here. There's about a 1-inch swipe that goes across, and you can see there's 4 crickets that are just below it. And when they're close enough for their antenna to touch it, they don't seem to go any farther. But they're obviously able to climb up the sides of this barrel with a lot of speed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wipe down the sides of this barrel about halfway down with mineral oil. And at the very top, under the rim, I'm going to put Vaseline as well. Oops. They don't like it when their antenna gets stuck in that oil. They don't seem to get close enough to drop off, though, from the slippery sides. There must be something attractive about the oil too, because they're all coming up toward it. Very few of them are coming up anywhere else, but underneath that oil they're all coming up. Now that is a lot of crickets. The entire floor is filled with those things, and they're all about 3/8 to a ½ inch long. Now I put a ring of mineral oil around this, and it looks like they're about 3 inches up into the mineral oil, and they're still climbing, but not very fast. Not sure what to think about that. Only over there, not so much on this side. Don't get that either. It must be something to do with the light. Wow, what am I going to do with all these things? $1 a dozen, I'd be rich. Well, just for the record, Vaseline does not stop crickets. I put 2 rings of Vaseline around this thing and they walked right up over it. The top 10 inches is coated with mineral oil. It really slows them down. So far, none of them have got within 4 inches of the top without falling off. That one right there looks like he's making some good headway. So I guess I'm going to have to cover this with plexiglass. Lesson learned. Next time, experiment with a few crickets instead of dumping in 100,000 into a 50-gallon barrel. I've also got my food trays down here now. 4 jar tops with cricket food in them. 2 of them have just the typical chicken feed mash, and 2 of them have ground up cat food. Seems like the basic stuff works the best. Now I've got all the egg crates in place. I've got the food dishes filled and 4 potato slices in there. At the bottom is the moist moss, so they have a constant supply of water. Above the moss, I've got some rolled up pieces of fencing to keep the egg crates out of the wetness, otherwise they start to mold. Not a lot of activity with the crickets right now. Apparently they're just trying to find a place to hide. Hopefully they'll get out and about and start eating the food. A few of them are going up the sidewall there, but not many. I still will have to cover the top of this with a piece of plexiglass just to make sure. We'll check back again next week, see what happens.